guys? Worm back here today with another video for you. And today I'm going to be showing you how to overclock your graphics card and also how to benchmark your graphics card. So let's get into it. First thing you want to do is download MSI Afterburner. You're going to go to this link right here. I'll have it in the description below. You're going to want to download this. So just click that right there. Next, you're going to want to download the Heaven benchmarking software. I know that some other people, they use some other benchmarking software, but this is what I use. It seems the most easiest to me. So download this from any one of these 4 links. Okay, so after you download and install those, we're going to want to go to MSI Afterburner. Okay, now this is what's going to pop up in the very beginning. Actually, if you get into it in the very beginning, it's probably going to have this box unchecked for the voltage control. That's what this is right here. If you uncheck that, you're not going to be able to mess with your voltage. They do that by default, so people don't, fry their graphics card. So for our case of purposes, you're gonna check mark that so we can do that. All right. So the first thing that you want to do, you're going to click right here on auto, uncheck that, and then you're going to want to put in 55. Okay. So that's going to boost your fan speed up to 55, or what plus 25. Whatever yours is, plus 25 is probably good. Hit apply, and you're actually probably going to be able to hear your PC's fan kick up a little bit louder. If it's too loud for you, then turn it down, obviously. But 55 seems good to me. It's not taking very much power at all. I don't even see it's not even taking any more power, and it's not much louder. So that's what I like to run is 55. Next thing you're going to do is the core clock. We're going to start off with the core clock. We'll get into the memory clock later. But for right now, and we're going to do the voltage later. So for right now, we're going to do the core clock. So click right here. It's going to start blinking. Type in plus 10. We're going to do this in plus 10 increments every time. So hit apply. And close it. And then open up Heaven. Click run. It's going to take a little bit to load. One thing to note about overclocking, when you start messing with your voltage, that is going to decrease the life of your graphics card. That's just, everybody knows it. Just a heads up. So do this at your own caution. Okay, first thing you want to do is go into settings. You're going to want to set it to whatever resolution your monitor is at, or whatever you want to test it at. You could even test it at, I don't even know, whatever that. You can test it at 1440. You can test it at whatever you want to do. I usually do it at 1080p, but for today I'm just going to do it at 900 just for this tutorial. You probably want to do full screen. I like to do full screen. That's probably it for right here. Up in the top right corner, you can see your FPS at this current scene. It'll change, and you'll be able to see that throughout the benchmark. Shows your graphics card that you have. Shows your memory clock. We haven't done memory clock yet, but we'll get into that later. And it shows your temperature. The thing with temperature, everything I've read online is that most graphics cards can run at 80, 85. It's when you start getting into like above 85 is where you need to be really cautious as to not burn up your graphics card, because that would not be good at all. So, first thing, you can go to quality right here and change the quality of how it looks. I like to run mine on all ultra, everything, 8 times, anti-aliasing, all of that fun stuff. Just because I like to stress test it. I want to see what it can do at the max settings, what kind of FPS I get, etc., etc. You can turn on sound, like there's, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but there's like this music playing. Okay. And mess with all that kind of stuff if you want. So you're set. So let's run the benchmark. Let's see how this runs at plus 10 megahertz. And I'll actually fast forward this all the way to the end and show you what my results are. So I'll be right back in a bit. All right, and it is finally finished. I think it took about 3.5 minutes, about 4 minutes for me. So if you got through it without any crashes or driver crashes, that means that overclock was good and that you'll be able to keep it there. So it shows your average FPS, it shows a score, and you're going to want to write all these numbers down just to know, especially in your memory clock, you're going to, just so you know what what kind of gains that you're getting. Shows your minimum FPS, which in my mind is probably one of the most important numbers in all of this. I could be wrong on that. I mean, your average is obviously good, but you want to get that minimum up as high as you possibly can. So in my case, it's a 13.1. That's a whole lot lower because I'm running OBS and I'm recording, so it would be a little bit higher for me. The max FPS 58.4, not very good. Shows all my system and all that fun stuff. So close that. Now we're gonna want to X out of heaven. We got a good clean overclock. So now we're just gonna increase it some more. All right, so let's go back to MSI Afterburner. And we're just going to go up another 10 on the core clock. So we're going to go to plus 20. Apply. Close it. And go back to heaven and just repeat this process. Now, we're not going to be touching the voltage for right now. The only time that we would start touching the voltage is when heaven starts to crash. And usually heaven will crash before your drivers crash for your graphics card. In my case, it was always heaven that crashed. Alright, so benchmark again, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, we are finally done with our second overclock, and as you can already tell, our scores went up. Our minimum FPS went up by a little bit, and that's just 10 megahertz. That's pretty solid. So from the looks of that, I mean, it's not always true, but if you gain a frame per 10 megahertz, that's pretty solid. So we already see that. If you got through it with no crashes, close out of it. Alright, go back to Afterburner and just keep on increasing it. I think I got up to like, I don't know, 30 or 40 megahertz before mine started crashing without increasing the voltage. So it just depends. It depends on your card. So yeah, once it crashes though, I'm not gonna keep on doing this until it crashes because that'd just be an entirely long video. But when it crashes, that's the time when you want to decide if you want to start doing your voltage or not. Or actually, you could go over to your memory clock. Memory clock. It got me like a few more frames. Like, it's not as drastic as your core clock. I would recommend doing the memory clock. I would actually do that after you do your core clock. Once you figure out your core clock, then do your memory clock. But you can do the memory clock last, or you can do it before you do the voltage. It doesn't really matter. The thing with the voltage, I'm not going to do it in mine because I don't want to do it to my card. But just do the exact same thing as what we've been doing. Just increase this by 10. And then go down to your core clock, increase it by 10. Just keep on doing that. You can even do your memory clock at the same time. It doesn't really matter. Just keep on increasing it. Just watch your temperature and watch your power when you start getting into voltage. And remember that you're taking down the life cycle on your card, which is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you have a really outdated card. I mean, if you have if you have a really old card, overclocking is your last resort to get a few more years out of that card. So overclocking is fun. I liked it. I'm a rookie, I'm not even gonna lie, but I wanted to post this out there to show you guys how easy it really is, and it's not really that scary. So that's it for my video today. Another tip, actually, before I go, this little tick right here where it says apply overclocking at system startup, make sure you tick that, because if you don't, every time you log back on, it's not going to boot up with your overclock already. You're going to have to go back into Afterburner. You're going to have to redo it. So click that. You can actually set different profiles right here. If I wanted to save this profile, I could click save and then click any number, and it's there. The one that I use, this is actually my setup right here. Plus 35 core clock megahertz, plus 10 memory clock. The thing with memory clock, it's so weird, is that I could increase my memory clock by 30, 40 megahertz and actually get worse frames on a clock at plus 10. So you're going to have to play around with that. It's going to take some time, but it's going to be worth it. So just play around with it. And yeah, that's about it for my video today. I do want you guys to let me know down in the comments below, how many frames that you gained throughout this. Let me know if you guys like these tutorials. I like doing the tutorials myself, but let me know. Let me know if you guys like these or not. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.